Listen, that brings us to round two, where I'm going to give a hot take, and then Will, you're going to have to argue it better or against it. And I think I got. Listen, speaking of overrated guys like Conor McGregor, here's one. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are the most overrated team in the NBA, and I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is the most overrated player in the NBA. I think he's taking that crown from Russell Westbrook because I think people forget that although he is a dominant player in the regular season, although he is great, he can't play that many minutes in a game. He can only really play 30, 31 minutes. People think it's because the coaching staff are trying to keep him fresh. But then if you look at his minutes in the playoffs, he doesn't play that many more minutes. Giannis almost never plays 40 minutes in the game, and it's not because they're saving him. It's because he can't play 40 minutes in the game. He gets banged up too much by playing his style of basketball and needs the rest. And that's just never going to get it done in the playoffs. Listen, there are a lot of things Giannis can do in the regular season when teams don't have a chance to prepare. But once teams are able to prepare for them, once they're able to keep him away from the paint and force him to shoot from the outside, he misses. And not only does he miss, the entire team takes his lead and misses. I'll give an extra hot take, which is not only is Giannis the most overrated player in the league, the Bucks will not make it out of the second round this year in the East. So for all the people trying to put them in the same category as the Lakers and the Clippers, they're completely off base because Giannis can't get it done in the playoffs. And listen, more power to him. I hope he proves me wrong, but we all know he won't because he can't hit a three, and in the playoffs, that matters. That's my hot take. Will, do you want to argue it better, or what's your rebuttal?
Wow, the Giannis. I'll take the counter to that position, I guess. I've always liked Giannis. I mean, I'm a big fan of his game. He's got like the 7'3" wingspan and just a freakish athletic ability. He's also improving. I just kind of pulled up his basketball reference stats here, and you know his 3-pointers per game just the past 3 years has gone from 1.9 to 2.8 to 4.8. So he's taking more threes. He up from last year, he's 30% from three as opposed to 25% the year before. He was around the same the year before that. So he's steadily improving on he's ahead of his career averages on threes. And free throw percentage too is way up. And well, actually his attempts are up. His percentage is actually a little down this year. But
there you go. Will, listen, you kind of made my point for me again. He's shooting 30% from three, and that is an improvement. In the playoffs, that's not going to get it done. By the way, if you're shooting more three-pointers and you're only making 30%, that means you're just missing a ton of three-pointers.
That's not his game. That's not his game.
Here's the thing. I'll give you this. The argument a lot of people make for Giannis, there's two things. One, if you look at him from a per-minute basis, his stats look even better. But that's kind of the issue. He can't play 36 to 40 minutes a game. His body doesn't hold up. And that's never gets brought up in why he's not going to be that good in the playoffs.
Real quick,
but
does he have injury history? Is that why they're nursing him, or are they worried?
So the quotes from the Milwaukee coaching staff is simply that because he plays all out at all times, they have to keep him in reserve because he does get nicked up. They're not major injuries, right? They're not injuries that are going to keep him out of the next game, but they are injuries. They are like sprains that are going to keep him out 4 to 5 minutes inside the game itself. And that adds up when you need a guy to be all out in the second half. Yeah. Listen, I think what it really comes down to is this. Giannis is a great story. He's one of the nicest guys in the league. Amazing story. The whole refugee thing is amazing. I'm not anti-refugee, all right? But I am anti-Giannis being the best player.
That'd be a weird time to bring that up. You're like, and by the way,
I can see it on your face. All right.
By the way, I don't like that he's a refugee. Like where did that come from?
We were all figuring that's why this secret anti-Giannis bias came from. But I do see that he's played in by far his most playoff games of his career last season at 15. He only had a combined 19 in his 3 previous seasons before that. And his minutes in the playoffs did tick down last year, but he did play more games. He was at 34. The previous 2 seasons in the playoffs, he played 40 and 40.5 minutes per game. So he can play it. I mean, he needs a better supporting cast around him, which he has this year. So I like the Bucks to advance in this weird format. You know, you've got the best player in the league. You've got the MVP. Nobody can really guard him one-on-one, with the exception of maybe Kawhi or LeBron, who are both in the West. So I think it bodes well for the Bucks this year to advance.
I got a name for you. They won't face them until the Eastern Conference Finals, most likely. But Miami is a team that I think is very equipped to beat the Bucks because Bam Adebayo matches up really well with Giannis, and in fact, they've destroyed the Bucks in it's only the regular season, but they've destroyed them every time because again, when Giannis is being guarded by like the 4 or 5 physical freaks in the league who can guard him, he doesn't really have an answer. And if the Bucks supporting cast doesn't show up in the playoffs like they kind of never do, they're going to lose early. And I don't even think he'll get to Bam. I think he'll lose before that. But that's my prediction. That's my hot take. Whitmer, you were judging us. Did I tie it up? I feel like I tied it up.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you. I have a few things to say. I think, one, I'd rather have a guy play 31 minutes of just intense basketball, the whole 31 minutes, than like do one of those like LeBron. I'll play 38 minutes, but I'm going to coast and take my chances when I feel like I should take my chances. So although he's playing less minutes, I feel like if you go by quality minutes of effort, I guarantee you he's right up there at the top. Also, the Miami thing, I think it's a good point, but I also think that we've seen this so many times, especially in the East, where like one year the Pacers will play LeBron's teams very well, or one year it was the Celtics, and then come playoff time, LeBron just sweeps them because having the best person in the series always is king in basketball. So I think you made the most points, and I don't know if I agree with all of them, but they were certainly the hottest, so I'm giving you round 2.